Night City, the city of dreams. Or the city of nightmares if you listen to the fearmongers. Don't go to Night City, you'll get shot. Don't go to Night City, there's crime. Oh, don't go to Night City, there's inadequate infrastructure for owning a car and public transportation doesn't effectively compensate for the lack of urban planning. Man, forget those people. Don't listen to them, listen to me. I'm holding a microphone and I have visual effects. I've been driving around Night City for the last couple of weeks like it's my job, and I've uncovered things that will change the whole way that you look at the world. Or at the very least, they might make you go, yeah, okay. For those who haven't played CyberPunk 2077 before, this is Night City. It's a big, beautiful, grimy mess with towering skyscrapers and fast cars. This is my ride. Try not to get jealous. In the game, your vehicles are stored in your garage, a sort of ethereal plane where you summon your car from. For everyone else, they get to deal with the existential dread of owning a car in the city. Frankly, and I'm speaking from experience here, the worst part of owning a car in a dense urban space is parking. Where do you park your car at night? Where do you park your car when you go somewhere? Are there specific rules about how long you can park somewhere or where you can park? Which side of the street? How many hours? Do you need a little pass? Do you need another little sticker? To really get myself in the spirit of the game, I went out and got myself a parking ticket. Sometimes I think I try a little too hard to get immersed in these games. How do you make sure that you're compliant when you park somewhere? Well, you have to keep your eyes peeled for parking signs. I haven't found a lot so far. Any traditional parking signs throughout Night City. There are these small LED screens that are along the curb, and some of them will be labeled no parking. Over here, there are a few that say no parking, and it very abruptly switches to just being notices. There doesn't seem to be any logic as to why you can't park there, but you can park here. When I was in Coast View, I actually saw more of these that were just lit up green. Maybe green means go? As in, go ahead, park here, it's cool. There's sections of the road where it's on both sides, and some is by green paint, some by yellow paint. I can't discern if there's any logic as far as painted curbs go. Frankly, when it comes to these screens, they seem to just have anything written on them, all sorts of random messages. I mean, look at this one. Some are just straight up advertisements, which seems like the least effective form of advertising in the city. Even if we're quickly plunging towards a future where every surface and experience is covered in ads, I think you'd cover all the walls in advertising before you worry about this tiny little space by your feet. Frankly, you're better off doing that disgusting human billboard thing where you have people walking around with those stupid backpacks on. When you're driving along the road, you can hardly see these ads, although they're much more effective here next to the parking spots. Oh, hey, look, we found some actual street parking. Looking around, I don't see any posted signs for how long you can park here, if there is any sort of hourly meter you have to pay, or anything like that. In theory, it could all be digital now, popping up on your augmented eyes, but I don't know that everyone has those. Maybe it's just, oh, it's free to park here, there's no sticker on it, it must be free. Close by, I found a parking lot that had these devices. They look like they could be parking meters, but there's really no way to interact with them. They also look like they could be electric car chargers, but most, if not all of the cars in CyberPunk run off of Chew2, a synthetic alcohol-based fuel. Maybe these are just for checking your email and posting hate online. I found another parking lot with them. In this case, only half of the spots seem to have them. On these models, you'll notice that on the side, there is a fire extinguisher inside of each one of them. Not a lot of faith in this device's construction, I guess. These also have markings indicating that they were made by Aurochs, which is a construction company in Night City, but it still doesn't really lead us any closer to what these actually are, other than they were made by a company that does civil projects. If you were watching earlier and you saw me get ran over by that car, you might be thinking, whoa, that was brutal. What can I do to help this poor, sad, pathetic individual? YouTube Hypes, first week on mobile. You can just help this video get discovered. It's completely free, and I really appreciate it. Also, it's not stolen valor. I've been ran over by an actual car. It sucked. I thought I was gonna die. It was horrifying. Another use for these curb screens could be for literally getting over the curb. There aren't really any curb cuts around Night City, so even when you have parking in front of a store, if there is a sidewalk between the road and the store's parking lot, you're gonna have to just go bump. This is also an issue I spotted with multiple alleys, not having any sort of curb dip or way for a vehicle to enter the space. No wonder these dumpsters are full of trash. It's not like Night City doesn't have any slopes over curbs though. There are some buildings that will actually have ways to get your car around the back, which make it even more bizarre when you spot something like this. How am I supposed to get my car up here? Near the Night City Rapid Transit Hub in Coast View, you'll find a small parking lot for about 50 vehicles. Now, this is too small to be an effective commuter lot, but I could see it functioning as a sort of cell phone pickup lot where you wait and pick someone up from the transit station. On the other side of the street from the parking lot, there is also a completely ineffective strip of road where you can drive 100 feet before having to do a Y-turn and question who let this happen. Also, turning around and changing lanes is made harder by the fact that none of the cars have side mirrors? Wait, these cars don't have any mirrors. Is that why everyone's such a terrible driver in Night City? Is that why parking spots are so obscenely large because no one can see anything around them? I mean, look at these spots. You could fit at least one more car in this space, and it's weird that the curb is painted red here, right? Normally that would mean no parking, even no idling or stopping at all. Is red how they indicate where you're supposed to park? Oh, duh, red like stop, as in stop and park your car here. But it's actually time to start, as in start my car and let's go drive to the mall. The Grand Imperial Mall is a very substantial mall located along the shoreline. It's like the new mall of New America. It's got everything, a roller coaster, other things. Malls are a hallmark of car-based infrastructure. Although somewhat ironically, the mall was invented as an escape from the automobile, according to Victor Gruen, the Austrian-American architect who was responsible for the first mall, Northland Center, located outside of Detroit. Also, some maybe consider Southdale Mall the first actual mall due to it being more similar to the modern design that we're familiar with malls, but that's not exactly important right now. He envisioned a sort of shopping paradise where you could float from store to store in a contained ecosystem without having to get in your pesky car and drive to the next location. At the start of the 1960s, Northland was seeing 50,000 daily shoppers and had 10,000 parking spaces to accommodate these customers. In one of the Grand Imperial Mall's parking sections, there are 6 spots. I'm not exaggerating, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parking spots. Another odd detail is that for some reason this area seems to be painted as a road. The white and yellow lines here seem to be lane indicators. It's just an odd detail. I don't really think there's any reason for it. Also, there is another larger parking section fenced off, and this area seems to be designed only with a loading zone in mind. When you approach it, there is a sign showing loading hours are reserved for the night and daytime hours are for customer parking. Whoever designed this doesn't work in logistics, I'm guessing, because for a mall of this scale, with only a handful of bays, you're probably gonna need deliveries essentially 24/7. And all it'll take is one dumb person parking their car in the wrong spot for too long, and an overworked truck driver is getting cyber psychosis. You'll find many loading bays in larger buildings around the city, or at least I'm assuming what they are is loading bays. They have garage doors that theoretically lead to some sort of loading, unloading zone or freight elevators, but most of them are only 1 or 2 doors, and good luck moving 30,000 pieces of furniture for all the people who live in here. On the flip side of living in a mega apartment, there are actually some small, well, relatively small houses still present in Night City, despite how similar their styles are and the fact that they all look like they were built around the same time. The biggest thing they differ on is whether or not they have a garage. A small handful have detached garages, and some have attached ones up front, but even if you have a garage, there's probably no dropped curb for driving up to it. Some houses have what look like driveways, but they actually just lead to the front door instead. Even if there's a garage just 10 feet over. Behind houses, you might find alleyways that are built without any sort of purpose. No trash pickup, no dumpsters, no leading to garages. But there is enough space here for people to drive 100 miles per hour at 1 a.m., so don't worry about that. Looks like you've got some erosion around your foundation here. I don't think you're gonna be able to drive into your garage anymore. Plenty of people will just park their cars on their lawn or crash it on their lawn and call it a day. Pretty accurate from my experience of living out west, if I'm being honest. Otherwise, no one seems to park on the street in front of their houses. Do they not know that red means park? Whoa, hold up there. Only 6 parking spots near Pierogi World? That just isn't gonna be enough, I can promise you. The average business in Night City has absolutely no parking around it. But I guess that's fine if you just park on the sidewalk, which is absurd. Except for in the parts of the city where you're supposed to do that. Yeah, just careen over a dozen people while you're fighting over the only available parking space. There are bodegas in the game and little snack shacks here and there, but if you're looking for a cup of gas along with your snack, you're out of luck in most cases. Gas stations are sparse. There are a few, but they're mostly on the outskirts of town. With how much idling everyone has to do downtown, you're gonna need to fill up your car pretty frequently. Oh, hey, gas is cheap in the future. That's less than gas is by me right now. And again, these aren't EVs. They have exhaust. Oh, Jesus. Also, as far as actually driving around the city goes, they really streamlined the process. There's almost no speed limits. I did find a handful of signs downtown, but it's really only for not going over 40. There are potholes though, and there's also a mention of the city being under constant surveillance. So speeding tickets and general traffic violations are probably all enforced digitally.
The NCPD is watching. Over 70% of Night City is under drone surveillance.
Also, the actual worst part of owning a car in Night City is that cars seem to just randomly explode. I don't know if it's gangs or poor build quality, but I will just be minding my own business when suddenly a car turns into a Pinto and goes... To be honest, I set out expecting to say Night City is awful. There's nowhere to park and it's absurd as a city. And while Night City is awful, and there's nowhere to park in the city, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Mostly the place where it seems like there should be more parking is around some of the businesses. There's nowhere to park downtown, like at all, but that's kind of just how cities feel like to me all the time. Also, while I did kind of just hand wave the virtual garage system, this actually is maybe the most sensible thing in the context of the game. If you were to go to a huge city, an actual metropolis, you might find that a lot of the parking garages you try to go to are exclusively valet services. Due to the high volume they deal with and the general stupidity of every human being once we get behind the wheel of a car, it's just more efficient to have someone who knows what they're doing park the cars in order to keep things moving and use the space most effectively. So in the future, why not have this whole system just function with your car on autopilot? You could have a system where you say, hey car, go find the nearest parking structure or the cheapest and chill out until I'm done with the... What do people do for fun here besides murder? With a system like that, you'd be able to cut down on a lot of street parking and parking lots, or at least human-manned parking lots. Or say you're just running in somewhere quick, you could have your car go on autopilot and circle the block a couple of times. Also, I think this probably isn't a problem for most people in Night City because I don't think many people here actually own cars. Yeah, there's like a constant flow of cars on the road, but there are so many people walking or writhing around on the sidewalks all the time that I just don't think your average Night City citizen owns a car. And if most people don't own cars, that would explain why building lots are often just sitting empty. There is, after all, some public transit that you can use, but if most people don't own cars, where are the bikes? Not like the bikes, like bicycles. Bikes exist in the tabletop game, but apparently they didn't make it into the video game. I take offense to this lack of inclusion. Biking it's the best way to get around a city. For anything like sub 8 kilometers, that's 5 miles for you Europeans. If all the car infrastructure is lacking and the large majority of the population seems to be impoverished, there should be bikers all over the city. While Night City doesn't have any actual protection for bicycles, it honestly doesn't seem like the worst city to bike in. The roads are pretty wide, no one parks on the side of them like ever, and sure, the drivers here are sociopaths, but I've never seen airbags go off in any of these cars. So it seems like you're just as likely to get your brains scrambled inside of a car as you are out. Honestly, I think walking might be the best way to get around in this city, but that would be a video for a different time. Also, to be completely thorough, I figured why not just follow people around until they park? That seems like the most effective way to figure out where people are parking in the city. Well, these people are crazy. I ended up following a few cars around for what were essentially multiple in-game days, and I don't think these people park at all. This may be a somewhat inconclusive study, as they seemed to kind of freak out knowing that I was tailing them, and more than one acted a little bit irrationally, to the point where I figured this was maybe not a responsible experiment to undertake. As I was driving around following a car that was seemingly leading me in circles, I passed multiple street parking spots and a few parking lots, and all of them were just empty. So I guess Night City just has enough parking, and this whole thing was an exercise in futility. But I hope you had fun watching. Thank you so much to my patrons who helped make this video possible. If you choose to hype the video, extra big thank you. I really do appreciate it a lot. And there's gonna be more videos coming to you next, but I gotta get out of here before another car hits me. This city is insane. Okay, bye.